Hi, I'm your host, Jürgen Strauss from Innova.buzz, and I'm really excited today to welcome from Egypt to the Innova.buzz podcast, Dr. Islam Gouda, who's a passionate marketing professional. He's a global brand ambassador for the Revenue Marketing Alliance, and he's the creator of the innovative project 100 Minutes to Ace Your Marketing Game. Islam has a wealth of experience in strategic marketing, having worked across industries and across regions, including the Middle East, the US, the UK. He's also author of SMEs and Startups Marketing Guide to COVID-19, which is still quite relevant. It's a book that provides invaluable insights for small businesses navigating challenging times. So not just COVID-19, but other challenging times that we might face from time to time. Welcome to the Innova.buzz podcast, Islam. It's a real privilege to have you as my guest.
Thank you for having me, Jürgen. The pleasure is mine, and all the salutations and the greetings from Cairo, Egypt, to you and your audience from down under Australia and all over the world.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure you're the first guest I've had from Cairo, Egypt on the podcast. So that's a first.
It's an honor and a privilege, and I think that this is what it's all about. Podcasting. It's bringing people together and bringing people to a point of view that both the speaker and the audience will benefit, and also the worldwide community of marketeers. So I'm excited to be part of this podcast, and I'm looking forward to it.
Great. Well, you've described marketing both as an art and science, that kind of really piqued my interest straight away, because I've said that from time to time as a person that has a science background. I've said, well, it's more than a science; it's an art and a science. And you also describe marketing even as a lifestyle, which is fascinating. So let's get started with the impact you make in the world today through your work in marketing.
So basically, I look at marketing as more than just an avocation. People think that marketeers do promotions, they do sales, they sell stuff, and they um, convince people to use stuff that they don't need. And that's, in my opinion, the wrong way of doing marketing. Marketing is basically about promoting the right product for the right people, the right time, and the right place. And this is the essence of marketing in today's world. If you are promoting things that are not part of a lifestyle of a people, or part of their habitual, instead of just being part of their daily habits, daily routines, it's habitual. So for these habits to be healthy habits, you need to have healthy marketing. And for you to have healthy marketing, you need to have the ethos that marketeers around the world are good enough to adopt. And these ethos, in my opinion, are the promotion of a better lifestyle, a better world to live in, and a better place to for us all as humans to come together in peace, unity, and love and care and respect, of course. So if we think about marketing from this perspective, we will be better off in a better world. But if we think of marketing as we bring this product to the people, we think about ourselves only, and we think about making money only, then this is not good marketing. This is just purely fluff, purely promotion of stuff. And in my opinion, marketing is more than the promotion of stuff. Marketing is about bonding with people, and it's creating relationships that basically result in a better world, in a better outcome for the company and for the customer themselves. Take, for example, Patagonia. Patagonia, that's a worldwide brand that created an ecosystem around the world. An ecosystem, imagine, of people who promote the product, promote the brand, and becoming the brand ambassadors for Patagonia. Why? Simply because they think about the customers, not from merely making profit, but also thinking about their well being, about how they will be better off using their products and services, about how they will be better off um, by not buying new stuff. And
Mm.
this is the ingenuity of dealing with Patagonia. They promote to you not to buy new stuff. They promote to you to buy stuff that really matters. And I wrote an article in the early days of doing marketing, and it's called "How to Be a Good Customer." So a good customer from the consumer part of the consumer equation, which is doing sales. So the more that you do sales as a customer, the more that you buy stuff from us, then you can be considered a good customer. From the ethical point of view, to be a good customer is to buy things that you really care about. For the brand to connect with you on a deeper level, on an emotional level, rather than a consumerist level.
Mm.
And that's how the best marketing should be done. And that's how today's marketing that entails sustainability and other ethos that the youth, Generation Z, and the alphas and the betas, and all of these will be considering in the future. And today we are living this future by having brands like Patagonia, and also Wendy's is doing a fantastic job on Twitter, being humorous and being community led and fun and all of that. So this is the essence of marketing in today's world, Jorgen.
Yeah, yeah, I love it. And you touched on so many things there that I'd love to explore some more. The example of Patagonia is a fantastic one because I was thinking back to some of the emails I get. I'm a subscriber of Patagonia, and I think I'm a customer of theirs. I think I've got products from Patagonia. I'm not absolutely sure, but I'm certainly an email subscriber, and I know a lot of their emails. Um, they promote a certain product, but they say don't buy this
Yes.
because and the philosophy is around our products are so good you only need to buy it once in a lifetime. So, for example, they have for those people that don't know Patagonia, they make um, mainly equipment and clothing for adventures. So for hiking, for trekking, and skiing, that kind of thing. And a lot of the clothing, they say the quality is so good that you only buy this once.
Mhm, mhm,
And this is the philosophy then that comes back to don't buy it new, um,
mhm,
or
mhm, mhm.
don't buy
And
another one
also,
just because you like, just because it's a different appearance or whatever. Mm.
yeah, I would like to add something on that as well. Like Patagonia is not just a brand that communicates with people by providing the products and services. You mentioned the email communication. So they are trying to communicate more than the product, they're trying to communicate their ethos.
Yeah,
So
that's right.
communication is key as well. So being transparent, being the people's brand, that what wins and that what yields results. Not being a consumerism brand that basically we would like to make profit of you. Here is a new product for you.
Mm.
Here is a new product that suits your budget. They are more than that. They
That's
are
right. Well,
more than that.
one of their values is preserving the environment, right? So a lot of the adventures they talk about. So they share adventures. They share, some of
Mhm,
their ambassadors share their adventures and say, "Hey, I went on this hike or this trek in the wilderness, and here's some photographs. Here's a
mhm,
story about my experience." And part of the ethos of Patagonia is preserving that wilderness and preserving the
mhm,
environment. So um, a lot of their strategy around don't buy new stuff all the time and throw out stuff that's perfectly good
mhm,
is
mhm,
to help preserve the environment. Mm.
mhm. And on Black Friday, instead of inviting all the customers in the stores, they gave all the employees a day off. And they said a simple message. They said, go out there and have fun to the internal stakeholders and to the external stakeholders. So imagine a day like this in the year that the brands make millions and millions of dollars. Instead of telling the people that we would like to have you in store, they are giving a simple message of just go there, just go out there, have fun. We would
Mm.
like you to be in the wilderness. We don't like you to be confined within the walls of our stores. We would like you to be in the wilderness. We would like you to see you happy. And that for us is basically a brand success as marketeers and as a brand that pertains to Patagonia, because they are not thinking about themselves as I mentioned. Like, imagine how the opportunity missed on that day, but they didn't think like that. They didn't think of the short term. They think about the well-being of their customers
Mm.
and the well-being of their internal stakeholders as well. So a stakeholder that is happy means the other stakeholder is happy. So whether it's internal or external, it both is reflective and both will yield results on the other party.
Yeah, yeah, it's definitely long-term thinking versus short-term, right? And suspending the immediate and perceived benefit for long-term loyalty and a long-term relationship, as you described it. Now, you said something at the beginning of the explanation of your impact around right message, right time, right audience, right product. So
Yeah,
talk to us a little bit more about that, because that's another phrase that I
indeed,
use quite a lot.
indeed. So if you have a good message, like for example, if you are doing corporate social responsibility or CSR, and that message is not targeting your audience in a right way. Like, for example, Coca-Cola came up with a campaign for corporate social responsibility in one of the years. And this campaign was supporting polar bears uh, in, I don't know which country. I'm not sure which, I even forgot the country. So supporting polar bears in the Atlantic, I think, I'm not sure. So this campaign is good, is doing good to the community, but to which community? Is it the worldwide community? Is it is it in relationship with the brand itself, Coca-Cola? Like, how does Coca-Cola translate to being a polar bear supporter? Like, what's the relationship here? So I always say, if you are doing corporate social responsibility, or if you are sending a message out there to the customers, choose the right customers, choose the right message, and choose the right tools. Doing good by itself does not justify you spending millions and millions of dollars on something that might or might not be in touch with the minds and hearts of the customers. That might not work. Supporting the poor, for example, might not work. Supporting people that with disability or with determination might not work, because that's not congruent with what you do as a brand. But for example, if Patagonia chooses to support the environment by encouraging recycling, I understand that as a consumer. I
Mm.
understand that this message resonates with me, that it resonates with the brand. So it's the right message with the right people, in the right time, in the right place. In the right place and the right time means that a country, for example, Patagonia goes to a country that they have like a branch in, and this country is really having problems with recycling. They have materials that they use all the time, and basically these materials are overused, and um, they don't recycle enough. So supporting that cause is really beneficial for the environment and for Patagonia as a brand. But like choosing something that out of the blue, I think that it's ingeniously crazy and is going to resonate with my customers. I don't think that it's gonna yield the results, and it's not connected with in anyhow, in any form, with my brand. It's going to hurt my brand instead of benefiting it. So that's another thing to keep in mind when thinking about doing campaigns, because marketing is not just about spending millions and millions of
Mm.
dollars on something that might seem good to you, but will really hurt your brand on the long run.
Yeah, it's it strikes me that it's really important for a business to know their customers well. Um, who is it that benefits most from the products or services we sell? And then what causes do they care about that are congruent with our values and our philosophies?
Indeed, indeed.
Mm. And I think Patagonia is a great example of doing that really well.
Mhm, mhm.
So you, as I said earlier, you describe marketing both as an art and a science. So talk to us a little bit more about those two aspects. So the science clearly is we have a postulate, we do some experiments, we measure the results, we analyze the
Mhm.
data, we adjust and go forward from there. Um, Talk to us a little bit about that aspect, but also about the art part of it.
What I have seen as a trend in the recent years is that people use automation and machine learning and stuff that relates to technology a lot in marketing, which is good. I'm not saying that it's bad. Technology is good. Technology is always great. We use our gadgets and tools all the time. But what about the marketing gut that we need to have in order for us to make the right decisions? So if I have numbers and if I have equations and if I have indicators that's telling me that this market is good for me to do business in, but as a marketeer, I don't think that it's good for me to do business in it right now because it's going to hurt my brand right now. So the marketing gut is based on experience and is based on years and years of education and experience and background and all of that. If I take out of the equation the marketing gut, the marketing feelings, the emotions, the science part, the arts part of it, the creativity, the emotions, the feelings, the rushness, the if I take all of these out in of the equation of doing marketing, then I'll be just doing campaigns without any feelings and emotions that will not resonate with my customers. If I think of marketing as just equations, research, results, and then this equation has been proved and this equation has not been proved, and then I like work based on these results, then I'll be taking away lots of creativity from my marketing campaigns. I'm as a marketeer, I'm doing more than just campaigns. I'm doing more than just spending dollars on campaigns that will yield or might not yield results. I'm paving the way for the salespeople so that they can go out there and speak about my brand. When they mention it to the customers, it resonates. That's good. And they can do business with them at that time. If I don't have this pavement, if I don't have this relationship built with trust and with connectivity between the marketing and the people, the sales team will fail. It's an equation that of success in the company. This equation is based on my understanding of the company as a marketeer and my understanding of the vision and mission of the exco or the managing team of the company, in addition to cooperating with other teams and departments within the company. If I understand the vision very well, but I act based on ego and self fulfillment goals, and I think of me as a marketeer only, and I would like to just do my KPIs, and I will that win in my department without any congruency with the sales department, then the company will fail.
Mm.
If I think within the sales department and I think about their benefit without the benefit of the company and the exco, then the company will fail. It's a codependent relationship that appears between sales, exco, and marketing. And if I think about the well being of the company before the well being of myself and department, then I'm better off in serving both the company and myself. Because people in marketing, they think, and sales specifically, they think about their KPIs, how they made of dollars, how much they made this month, how much they will be making this year. And these KPIs, they are inhibitors. I think they lack the human element that makes them actually work because basically they are made out of numbers. And these numbers are concrete. And when these numbers are not fulfilled, then there's a drop in the productivity that is noticed by the management. And this drop of productivity will drastically change many things that will happen within the marketing and the sales department. It might be the result of people being laid off because of these KPIs. But if we add the human element, if we add um, our emotions as people, and we trust our guts as marketeers and our sales and as exco, and we come together on one vision and on one mission of making this company a success, then at that time we can be doing business in the right way. This is the right way of doing business. And I think, in my opinion, many business people fail and entrepreneurs fail to see this from the point of view of their internal stakeholders. They dictate, we would like to have millions and millions of dollars, and that's an order. You take this money from us, and we would like to see these results. It doesn't work that way. We're not machines.
Yeah.
We can use machines to enhance ourselves, to enhance our work, but we cannot work as machines like in our departments. We need to have congruency. We need to have shared vision and mission, and we need to have an understanding that brings us together, that is communicated on a daily and frequent basis between departments.
Mm. Yeah, there's a lot of really important points you made there. And I think one of the overriding factors, and you mentioned early on technology, how to grow technology, is I've always been a huge fan of technology from way back before the internet. And yet I've always been frustrated by how a lot of marketers and other people as well, but marketers in particular, abdicate to the technology rather than building a relationship with people, rather than understanding who is my ideal customer. When should I be communicating with them? What are they looking for? Is the thing I've got actually of use to that person
Mm.
that I'm sending the email to? So all of that abdicating to the technology, and I'm very strong in terms of the human element of that. And what you're talking about there internally as well is looking at um, if I'm in the marketing department, looking at sales, looking at the executive team, looking at the production department, looking at the IT support, whoever, looking at the
Mhm.
accounting department who are running the numbers, whoever that might be, looking at them all as customers and therefore as human beings. That um, my first priority really is to build a relationship with them so that I can work together with them, understand where we're both coming from, work together for that shared vision and that constant, open, transparent communication you talked about.
I would like to mention something else in this context, Jürgen. Like, I've seen the emergence of something called life cycle marketing. Life cycle marketing basically is automating the customer journey and understanding it very, first of all, understanding the customer journey very well, and automating every touch point to the point that hyper personalization takes place. I'm not saying life cycle marketing is bad. I'm saying that over reliance on technology,
Yes.
without the human touch, the human element, the gut that I mentioned, is basically is gonna hurt the brand more than it's gonna benefit it. For example, we have something, a cliche in the marketing terminology, that um, our existing customers are better, way better than our new customers that we can bring on board to the company. And with life cycle marketing, that is proved to be right, which is wrong. In today's economy and ecosystem, a new customer can be brought very easily. And I give you the example of Bolt. Bolt, that a European company that has been based out of Estonia. They have opened into the branches into different African countries, uh, just by advertising their services to drivers. They are a mobility company. They have put up an ad. I've read their story. They have put up an ad of $200 per month, I think, and they received millions of requests from drivers and people who wanted to have their services. So the idea that a new customer being brought on board to the company, that is um, more expensive than the existing customers' retention rate, that's a cliche that is not existing in anymore in marketing. It doesn't happen anymore like that. Actually, maintaining the customers that are fickly and that are can replace your brand in an instance, that what will take most of the resources to make them happy. But bringing in more customers from different areas and different spectrums of the world, that is cheaper nowadays than maintaining your own current customer base. Um, Except if it's a high net worth individuals, that's different. Or luxury brands, that's different. I'm talking
Yeah.
about the mainstream brands. I'm talking about B2C, um, regular brands that basically they are on the hunt for new ideas to keep their customer base as is, without the venturing into new um, like adventures of bringing in new customers, and that's really ridiculous, in my opinion. I
I
think.
think I think it's a little bit. It depends a little bit because I see a lot of behavior from companies that have products that are sort of commodity,
Hmm.
that are sort of easy to replace. Um, I'm just trying to think of an example now. Um, well, internet service providers, mobile phones, right? They're commodity. A bank account.
Hmm.
They're
Hmm.
commodities because I could go to 100 different places and get my internet connected or my mobile phone coverage or
Hmm.
my banking services.
Hmm.
At the same time, I already have all of those services set up.
Hmm.
So if I'm unhappy to go, there's a big barrier for me to go and shift, particularly something like banking where I've got bank accounts, I've got investment accounts, I've got loans, I've got credit cards. Um,
Hmm.
so to switch bank is a big barrier for me,
Um,
and I need to
yeah.
be I can be motivated to do that if
Hmm.
my existing bank pisses me off enough to use
Hmm.
very
Hmm.
crude terminology,
Understandable.
marketing terms. Um, and I see a lot of company actually doing that to their customers. Whereas
Hmm.
all they
Hmm.
needed to do was just keep being nice, keep providing the service as expected, keep the
Hmm.
relationship on an even keel without putting a lot of money in to maintain that relationship. All they need to do
Hmm.
is just keep keep going, and then they
Hmm.
won't lose customers. But a lot of them have churn because
Hmm.
they annoy them. They annoy them because the service breaks down and they don't
Hmm.
communicate effectively. They annoy them because suddenly I see um, offers come through saying, sign up now and you get a 20% discount for the next 12 months. And when I
Hmm.
ask, okay, I'll have that. Oh, no, no, no. You're an existing customer. That's only for new customers. So,
Hmm.
yes, I've been the existing customer for 10 years or so. So you're penalizing me for my loyalty, right? So those are the examples where I see people doing the exact opposite of something that would be really easy to maintain that existing customer base and
Hmm.
without even going to the extent of finding out, hey, what else can we
Hmm. Hmm.
provide that you need? Um,
Hmm.
so
Hmm.
we do something else really well and you need that
Yeah.
and you already love us. So why not switch that service to us as well?
Let me tell you something about the churn rate that's currently taking place in the examples that you've mentioned. There is a great example in Dubai. It's called Mashrik Bank. And Mashrik Bank, they have something called Mashrik Neo. Mashrik Neo, that's a banking service that provides you the ability to shift from your current banking service within a
Mhm.
click of a button. So the barriers of entry are being studied by the marketeers behind these brands so that you can make the shift easily and on the go. Google in the US, they have provided a service of internet that you don't need a setup at all. You just need to have a Wi-Fi that's in the air, and they will give you a password and a username, and that's it. You're hooked. So brands. That's what I'm telling you. It's more than a science and an art. It's R&D as well.
Mm.
So people or marketeers, when they look at brands and they see the barriers to shifting becoming more and more difficult, they remove these barriers so that people can make the shift on the go. So, if we have best practices in our hand as a brand from different parts of the world, because I have a foot in the East and in the West, I understand the brands that are working nowadays in the East and in the West. So these commonalities, these what brings brands together when they are studied, when they are implemented in a way that basically makes the customers want for the shift instead of waiting for the customers to be annoyed, like you said.
Mm.
So they want customers to be wanting the shift because the shift is so easy to make that basically it doesn't make them wait, or it doesn't make them take time, or it doesn't make them to sign up processes or whatever. The customer journey is being studied and everything has been counted for. So whatever that inhibits you from churning to the competing brand, they have studied that in marketing, and they have facilitated the basically the shift from a brand to the other, the competing brand, and that's basically genius. Now I know for sure that there are people who might not like the shift because basically they are more into um being accustomed to that brand. What we know we used to do, what we used to do
Right.
is what we're comfortable in doing. But what I'm saying is basically Gen Z and all the future generations, like the alphas and the betas, they fickle so quickly, Jorgen. Like um they don't stick to one brand. Like I'm not sure how it would be very interesting to see Harley Davidson's marketing plan for the next 20 or 30 years. How would they sustain loyalty within their brand? Because Harley Davidson is basically it's a legacy brand,
Mm.
and they are based on the loyalty of their customers. I know for a fact that there are Harley Davidson fans that have their choppers inside their houses and inside their garages and all of that. So I really would like to know how they will be targeting like alphas and betas and Gen Z, and how they will be dealing with all of these customers. Of course, there will be the millennials who will be getting old soon, but at the end of
Yeah,
the
it's interesting, isn't it? Because there are different brands, right? We talked about the internet service providers, banks, and so on,
yeah,
and yeah, clearly, they're kind of commodity services that we need. We all need them, and so um, to remove the or to minimize the barrier for switching over is a really clever strategy for people chasing new customers, but that provides a challenge to those larger companies that have a large customer base. How do they keep those customers as it becomes easier for them to switch? But then the example of Harley Davidson, where clearly, um, a person might purchase one or two in their lifetime, but it comes back to what you were talking about with the Patagonia example earlier.
yeah,
They don't just become customers; they also become ambassadors for that brand.
yes,
And so,
yes.
how does Harley Davidson make it really attractive for those people to go out and talk to others about how wonderful their experience is and why somebody else who's looking at a motorbike should be considering a Harley Davidson?
Yes, indeed, indeed. And I think that um, there are brands that will disappear. Like I'm not sure how they would be in line with whatever the Gen Z are thinking, or whatever because millennials are now getting old. Millennials are now in their 40s and in their 50s. Uh, but millennials, I'm not sure how They're if you're a legacy brand, and if you are not congruent with the millennials' um, demands and needs and wants and all of that, then it's either you shift to the Gen Z, or you will become obsolete, because
Mm.
basically you have two choices. It's either to be an old-fashioned brand,
Yeah.
like connecting with the millennials, because the baby boomers nowadays, they have disappeared from the marketplace. They don't have a really purchasing power. But the millennials would be having the most of the purchasing power. They would be the most in the workforce. But again, the Gen Z would be the future. So we are investing in the future by seeing brands like Patagonia and Wendy's, and even TikTok as a brand. TikTok as a brand
Mm.
is like see the commotion that happened on TikTok um, in the US. Like TikTok was banned for some time, and then it came to some point that no, we need TikTok to be operating. Like TikTok as a brand is really a people's brand. So people cannot, like, I've seen goodbye messages that really were heartwarming, and they will say, "Oh, this is the last day on TikTok. We will not be talking to our millions and millions of fans around the world anymore." So, I mean, if you are a brand that really need to resonate with the customers, you need to be talking and conversing with them with their own minds, with their own vision. You need to create a community-led brand. And community-led brands, they are the brands that win the people, win the hearts and the minds of the people, because basically they are part of their habitual life. They are part of their daily habits. Like a subscription-based model like Spotify and Netflix, for example, is not just a product, it's not just a service, it's part of the routine.
Mm.
I'm coming home from work. I want to chillax. I would like to listen to some music. I will for sure open Spotify or Netflix. But um, competing brands, they cannot compete based on that, because basically competing brands are facing lots of barriers to entry and lots of problems when it comes to facing giants like Netflix and Spotify, because it became part of the habits of the people. And being part of a habit is just transcending to being more than a want and a need.
Yeah.
So that's really interesting. They know how to target people, um, and they know how to create memes. Like Netflix are great meme creators. I've seen many like Netflix India and Netflix Mexico or Mexico and Netflix US. They create memes on a daily basis for their shows, and that's what keeps people engaged. And keeping people engaged online will keep them engaged offline, and vice versa. So, yeah, I mean, that's marketing is becoming the backbone of economies nowadays. Marketing is not just a function, it's not just core operations in a company, it's becoming core operations of communities. Like, see, for example, Elon Musk. Elon Musk, he's a role model for marketing. He has built an empire based on marketing. He has marketed Tesla as a technology company, not as a motor or vehicle company. And he has won the hearts of minds of millions and millions of people around the world. And look where he is right now. I'm not into politics, but like what I'm saying is his marketing strategy led him to many and accolades, made him a role model for marketeers and people around the world, just because he is interested and invested into marketing. Marketing led him to SpaceX, and SpaceX led them to Bitcoins, and Bitcoins led them to Tesla. It's a really interconnected world for him. So he's one of my role models, and I think he's a great guy, and I think he's doing great. But the downside of Elon Musk, like, I don't want to talk much about this, but he's a 1% brand,
Mm.
so his empire is built on him solely. Um, there are risks that need to be mitigated. Like there needs to be some other face for Tesla and some other face um for the brand itself as
Yeah.
SpaceX or whatever.
That's definitely a big risk, isn't it? And we
Yeah,
saw that with Apple, with Steve Jobs' unfortunate
yeah,
passing. That
yeah.
they had to navigate that. And I think they've succeeded to a certain extent, although they haven't got the same personality marketing, but maybe
Mm,
that's simply what they've chosen to do because they saw the huge risk of that. Mm,
yeah, yeah, indeed, indeed.
yeah. All right. Well, this is absolutely fascinating, Islam. I could go on talking for ages, but I'm just
Like,
aware of the time. So I think it's a good point now to move on to the buzz, which is our lightning innovation round where I ask the same 5 questions of our guests. And the idea is you'll share some tips from your experience, some sort of short, sharp, action focused tips that'll inspire the listener to go and do something awesome today as a result. You all set?
well, I thank you very much, Jürgen, for this, and I'm looking forward for the set. Yeah, I'm all in for it.
Excellent. Okay. Well, what's the number one thing anyone needs to do to be more innovative?
They need to think outside of their comfort zone. They need to think outside of their daily circles. They need to make new circles.
Mm.
They need to be good at networking. If you are good at networking and good at meeting people and conversing with them, you will be a great marketeer. Because marketing is not about just innovative and ideas and innovation and all that. It's about molding whatever that people are thinking about into something new and creative. Because you will never satisfy the need of people. You will just take tips and pointers, and then you can use your gut to move forward with a new product or a new service.
So important to connect with people and maintain that human connection. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then think think beyond your comfort zone.
Yes. Yes.
Excellent. All right. What's the best thing you've done to develop new ideas?
The best thing is reading, reading and reading and reading and writing. So basically, I'm engaged within the Revenue Marketing Alliance. Like I had problems with my own platforms. Recently, I got hacked, but like basically, I'm engaged into creating a content calendar that basically um, reaches out my target audience and basically goes far and beyond for people to use marketing as a tool for the good. So marketing is a tool for the good. So I'm reading a lot about marketing and its innovation and its many of the things will be obsolete. We need as marketeers to be sharp. We need to be updated, and we need to be up to beat with the latest trends and marketing. So that's how I keep running as smoothly in marketing.
Excellent. All right. Lots of reading and also writing. Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Favorite resource that you use most often?
Um, there are many resources that are AI based, like Ad Creative. Ad Creative is a very nice platform. I like to um for my audio notes, I like to use um um something called, I'm not sure about the name of the app that I recently used, but it's AI based app that basically it takes away all the noises and all of the um it really it transcribes even the text for you so that you can have translation and you can have it dubbed into other languages. I love techniques and technologies in that form that support my way of doing marketing and
Mm.
support my way of outreach to the people. So I use Ad Creative and Veed. Yeah, Veed Creative. It's
Okay.
called Veed.
Mm.
Veed. I remember now. Veed. It's really something that pertains to audio, and I really use it. I used it in the 100 minutes to ace in your marketing game, and it really yielded many results, positive results for me as well.
Excellent. All right. And we'll check those out and put some links in the show notes so people can
Mhm.
check them out further. It's great. So what's the best way, to keep a client on track?
Communication, transparency, um, candid, being candid.
Mm.
Being candid. Don't fool the customers. If you fool the customers once, they will never trust you again.
Yeah.
If you tell them, if you overpromise, don't overpromise. Never overpromise. Tell them that you'll do the job as to the much best possibility that you can and impress them with the results. But never overpromise. Never tell people that you can do stuff that you can do. And then when you can do, you are in a big predicament.
Mm.
Don't overpromise. Be candid and be transparent.
Yeah. Yeah. I think there's a couple of really clear messages there: candid communication, frequent communication,
Mhm,
and also the idea of not making promises you can't keep, which
mhm, mhm.
in terms of the communication means that having the conversations, being having the courage to have the conversations where you say, "Hey, I'm running behind on this," or I
Yes.
I hit a
There's no shame
hurdle
in
that I
doing that.
hadn't
Yeah.
anticipated, and this is actually beyond my capability."
Yeah, there is no shame in doing that at all, Jürgen. Like we are humans, and people they understand. I've been into many cultures. If you are candid and open to a conversation that's frank, then you will be understood.
Mm.
But don't fluff your way in marketing so that you can gain a contract or gain a job or get a job or whatever. If you can't do it, just say you can't do it. That's it.
Yeah, yeah. And you, before we started recording, you were telling me a story of a conversation you had with another podcast guest of ours who asked you to do something, and you said, "I could, but there are other people who are better
Yes,
qualified at
yes,
this
yes,
particular skill than I am," and you
yes,
referred them on. And I think that's part of that open communication, isn't it?
yes, yes.
Mm. All right. And final question to the buzz round: what's the number one thing anyone can do to differentiate themselves?
Be everyday new. Be everyday novel. Um, what happened yesterday is not the truth. The truth is today's moment, is what we are having right now. That's the truth. That's the ultimate truth that we are having. If I switch off my camera and I go to bed and you go your way now, um, and then we part away, then there's no ultimate truth. The ultimate truth, the conversation I'm having with you right now. Yesterday's lessons or yesterday's things that happened is not the ultimate truth. The ultimate truth is today. So make today the most of what you can do. Learn from yesterday, but don't make it a focus. Keep going forward, keep moving, and keep looking ahead.
Mm. Yes, that's wise words. And I think part of that is living in the moment, right? And being
Yes,
present in
yes,
the moment, which I think is
yes.
an absolute skill that we all need to cultivate.
Indeed, indeed,
Mm.
indeed.
Well, thanks so much for getting us through the buzz round and also for the conversation to date, Islam. It's been really fantastic. Now, where can people find out more about you, the work you do, and maybe even reach out and say thanks for what you've shared with us today?
My LinkedIn account having some problems right now, so I would have asked them to DM me, but unfortunately, I'm having technical problems. I have been hacked. But they can reach out to me by email, islamgouda@hotmail.com. Hopefully, I can resolve the problem with LinkedIn very soon. They can reach out to me if they have the DM, or they can Google whatever the resource. I'm doing consultancy to companies. I'm doing consultancy to brands, to people, to B2C, B2G, whatever. There is a page, Crunchbase. I'm a consultant there. Also, I have consultancy pages set up in different kind of platforms. If they Google them, they will find my name and they will find the rate, and they can discuss. I have always introductory calls. I'm all ears to whatever the problems that people have, and I would really love to help if I can help. If I can't help, I'll politely dismiss them and tell them basically I will refer you to another person.
Excellent. All right. And we'll include a couple of those links in the show notes, and hopefully your LinkedIn profile will get restored fairly soon.
Hopefully. Thank you very much, Jürgen, for the opportunity and all the best in what you do. And I have gained a friend today. You are more than just a person. We are part of the Flywheel community, which is a great community to be part of. I met some amazing people, and I'm looking forward to growing this relationship. Thank you very
Excellent.
much.
Well, before we wrap it up, what action would you like our listener to take out of our conversation today?
Subscribe to my YouTube channel, Dr. Islam Gouda, 100 Minutes to Acing Your Marketing Game. It's a really nice resource for people. Buy my book, SMEs and Marketing Guide through COVID-19, and give me a call if you think I'm a good fit for your help.
Excellent. All right. Well, thanks so much for sharing your insights and your wisdom and those stories with us today so generously. Really enjoyed the
Thank you.
conversation, and all the best for the future. And please do stay in touch.
Sure. Thank you.